It was land that wasn't buildable. It was land that wasn't accessible. It was landlocked garbage that people weren't even paying their taxes on. But I would buy it for a couple $100 and then sell it for several thousands of dollars. So it would have been a great land deal. But we went a step further and put a modular home on this land. And I was like, I got to figure out a way to get out of the military to make $4,000 or $5,000. But what I've really gotten excited about over the last couple of years was developing land, where it's real simple. Yeah, I think the people that succeed, they look at it as a marathon.
Welcome back to Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. My guest today was an Army officer deployed overseas, building a real estate business on the side and watching his family life shrink. He didn't just hustle harder, he found a completely different strategy. Brent Bowers now makes over $50,000 a month in passive income from vacant land, and he teaches others how to do the same. Brent, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thanks for having me, James.
Fantastic, mate. Take me back to the deployment when it finally clicked. What was happening in that moment?
Yeah.
Things have got to change.
Yeah, things have got to change. Okay, so I was already back from my second combat deployment. Was married and actually went through a divorce and got married again. We had just had our first baby, and now I'm preparing. We're going to do training for my third combat deployment, and my wife's upset because I haven't been home in like weeks, and she's over it. She's not getting any sleep because the baby's not sleeping. Now we're pregnant with another baby. I'm just like, oh my goodness, I got to figure out a way how to be home more often. So I was searching for answers, and I was listening to podcasts just like this, and I found vacant land investing.
Did you have your plan in mind, or when was that specific time?
Yeah, and I wasn't actually over in Afghanistan. We were preparing to leave again, and it was going to the field for several weeks, and I wouldn't have my phone. And here, my wife's pregnant. We got a baby at home, and it just hit me. I was like, I got to figure out a way to get out of the military to make $4,000 or $5,000 a month to at least pay my bills. And that's when it just became a huge why. My why became big enough to motivate me to get up early, to stay up late, to learn this land investing strategy, this real estate investing strategy. I had already owned rental properties. I had already wholesaled some houses, but that part of the real estate wasn't making me money. It's when I took action, I started, reaching out to landowners to see if they'd like to sell their land. And then the opportunities just started coming out for me.
And that's really interesting because you said you had, different real estate investments in the past. What made land so different from any other strategy?
Yeah, I'll say the first thing was there was just so much opportunity. It was like the blue ocean strategy. That's a great book.
I love it.
It wasn't muddied up and bloodied waters, and there was landowners willing to sell me land. And this wasn't great land at first that I first started buying. It was land that wasn't buildable. It was land that wasn't accessible. It was landlocked garbage that people weren't even paying their taxes on. But I would buy it for a couple $100 and then sell it for several thousands of dollars. And then I started selling it for several $100s a month. I would do seller financing. And before I knew it, I'm like 18 months into this, and I've got $12,000 a month coming in. This is US dollar. And I only had about $4,400 a month in bills, so I was financially free. Well, fast forward quite a bit, it turned into more expensive land flips, and it turned into stuff that people really wanted. It turned into buildable land. And what I found was it took just as much time for me to make $50,000 as it did to make $5,000. So I started doing more expensive land. And that's still working. We're still doing that. But what I've really gotten excited about over the last couple of years was developing land, where it's real simple. I buy vacant land in areas that needs affordable housing, and we place brand new manufactured homes on this land. And we're selling about 2 a month. That we're buying the land, and we're buying this land at a discount, and then we're getting the manufactured home at a discount directly from the manufacturer, and putting those two together to where it's just a few more steps than what I was doing on the vacant land. But now it's a more predictable, consistent, constant business because I no longer have to be the bank. A lot of times when I'd sell that land, I had to be the bank, which is great. It's amazing for monthly cash flow, but I'd rather get, 250K chunks of cash rather than have to collect that money over 30 years. I almost said 100
So
years.
true. So true. So, like, that's a beautiful journey from going from just a small blocks now to actually buying land and putting the manufacturer homes on it. How long has that process been for you? Like, it's obviously been a journey to get to where you are today.
Yeah.
What was some of the roadblocks or some challenges that you've gone through that journey to get to where you are today?
So many roadblocks, so many mistakes, so many mess ups, so many parcels of land that I built that, we've impacted wetlands and got in trouble with the state. I've bought land that wasn't buildable, like not like just you name it. I've made so many mistakes. I actually have a land buying roadmap. I call it my due diligence checklist, or my DD. People can get that if they go to thelandsharks.com/DD. And like all 14 of those items are a way that I've been burnt somehow or another. So I've made a lot of mistakes. I've spent a lot of money learning. Unfortunately, like I hate the fact that I had to spend that money, but it made me a better investor, a better real estate investor, that's for sure. I always tell people I'm still practicing.
It's never ending, right? Never ending. Now, those land deals that you're doing right now, take us through that process of actually, I mean, yes, you got your DD roadmap, and we'll put it into the show notes so everyone go and get that downloadable. It's a great resource. How do you, is it certain areas? Are you looking at just in your state? Is it multiple states?
Yeah.
How do you think? What's your thinking process around that?
Yeah, I like to be in multiple states. That way I can spread out risk. I only have 7 projects going right now, but I prefer to have one project in each area going. That way, one area fails, like I still have 4 other ones going on doing well. But what I do is, and we also teach people how to do this, but we find areas of demand where these markets will, how do I say, I never want to go out and create demand. I want to fill the demand. So we look for those areas that need these. And a lot of times we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We don't want to go in and be a pioneer, because pioneers get arrows in the back. But it's hard to see in a lot of areas like the 2026 is selling. No, like we won't see that. Sometimes we got to go off of 1996 numbers. And if the numbers pencil out with that, then when they walk into our brand new units, like our homes, like they're going to absolutely sell for more. But once we find that, we make offers on the land. We get the land at the most affordable price possible. And then we backwards plan, like, okay, these things will sell for about this much. And we reverse engineer it to make sure that it's at least a $45,000 net profit spread, or we won't do it.
Got it. And manufactured homes, where did that thought come from? How did that idea come to your mind? Because that's a beautiful concept, because it's so quick, it's so easy.
Yeah.
Maybe not so easy, but it's a great recipe.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with something that's built in a factory. It never sees the weather. I've built brand new spec houses that have gotten rained on and snowed on and blown on, and it's just like, these materials get wet and you're in big trouble. I've also flipped a bunch of houses where I bought them, fixed them, renovated them, and then sold them. And some of the most profitable homes that I had ever worked on were usually a manufactured home or a modular home. So in 2020, I actually did a brand new manufactured home in Colorado, and we did very, very well with it. A house had burnt down, and we were able to buy the land for $30,000, and we could have probably sold that land for $60,000, $70,000. So we probably could have made 30 or 40 grand just flipping the land. So it would have been a great land deal. But we went a step further and put a modular home on this land. This was in 2020 in the Black Forest of Colorado. And we ended up making $97,000. But there was a lot of mistakes that I made on that build. We should have made a lot more. You think it would have clicked back then, but we did a few more haphazardly over the years. And I have a really very successful coaching company and program where we've taught people how to invest in land called the Land Sharks. Well, there was a couple land sharks in there that owned about 33 mobile home parks. Their names were Chris and Robert. They were partners. They still are. And I kept saying, guys, teach me how you're buying all these mobile home parks. So finally they start teaching me. I'm in the process of buying my first mobile home park in Florida. And Robert was like, listen, I want to tell you how we can afford to buy all these mobile home parks. I was like, what? They said, we're taking the land shark strategy. We're buying land at massive discounts and we're putting brand new homes on it. And we got to put our money somewhere, so we're buying these mobile home parks. And by buying these parks, we're like eliminating our tax burden because we're buying more cash flowing real estate. So that day I was like, oh my gosh. So that's fast.
Drops. Love it.
The mobile home parks is slow money. So we had about 500 land investors at that time active. And we're like, hey, would you rather learn how to buy mobile home parks, or would you rather learn how to put brand new manufactured homes on this land you're flipping and make like profits immediately? Hands down, 9 out of 10 of them wanted to learn that business with placing brand new manufactured homes on land. So basically we tested the process out on me with Chris and Robert's system. And for almost 2 years now, we've been coaching people how to do it. It's a very small program. We take usually 2 people on a month, and we hand hold them to do their first deal and get paid on it in 4.5 months, sometimes 5. But yeah, it's been a blast. So you don't have to do hundreds of these a year. I mean, you can do literally 4 a year and earn $200,000 net profit. So we all want to be developers.
That's right.
This way to develop land.
So good, so good. You've got over 700 students. What's the difference between those who succeed and those who don't?
Yeah, I think the people that succeed, they look at it as a marathon, and they look at it as, okay, what steps can I do today to bring a result? And that's the biggest thing that was beating my head when I finally would say I became successful in real estate. It wasn't doing 100 different things. It was doing the basics that make you money every single day. It was doing what I call the income producing activities, doing exactly how I was taught to do it. And I remember it can't be this simple. But I just kept doing it. I believed it, and I kept doing it, and I'd do it, and it was just a matter of time. It's almost like a red farmhouse pump. You got to pump that pump. You got to get it pumping, and nothing comes out. Well, you got to put a little water in it. Maybe that'll get primed, and then the water starts coming out. But you can't stop pumping it, or you can maybe pay someone to pump it, or you could put a machine on it or a motor, but you can't stop pumping it. So the people that get results and the ones that don't, I think the ones that don't get results are looking for well, it couldn't be this easy. It can't be that easy. And they look for another way. You won't believe how many people have paid me money to coach them, and they come to one of my support calls and they're like, yeah, I'm trying texting out. I'm like, oh my gosh, why? Well, this guy over here on YouTube said it's working well right now. I'm just like, so you think the way I'm showing you is not? Because you paid me, I should tell you if it's not. So
is that a mindset shift? Because what I see a lot of people is that want those quick results and they want those instant gratification. How do you teach someone it is a marathon? How do you get someone to make that mental shift of trust the process, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, I'm in a program, and it's going to take years to kind of get where I want to get. But every time I'm on a call with the guy running it, he says, it's the journey, not the destination. It's the absolute journey. When I started my land business when I was in the military, I still had 3 years left on my contract. And I told my wife, I told other business partners, I told myself, I'm not going to live off of this money for the next 3 years. I'm going to just reinvest it, and I'm going to let this thing build itself. I don't need this money today to pay my power bill. The money I make from this land investing is going to go into the next land deal. It's going to go into a savings account. I'm not touching that money. And so many people get into business thinking they're going to make money in the first year, 3 months, 4 months. Most businesses don't make money for the first 5 years, and then they go out of business. I've not seen very many businesses that you can make money in the first 30 days, which you can with land investing. But you can also lose money. There's a lot of pitfalls in developing, even putting brand new mobile homes or manufactured homes on land. There's a lot of ways you can mess up. So you got to trust the process, and it's been around forever. There's nothing new about it. And that mindset shifts too, and a lot of people don't realize that they can do it. That's the biggest thing is, if I can do it, if John can do it, if Jack can do it, if Brad can do it, if Robert or Chris can do it, you can do it too, James. Like, and we surround them with people that are doing it, and they're seeing the numbers, they're seeing their bank accounts, they're seeing the HUD statements, and like they're like, we're just beating it into them. Like eventually, it's like, well, if all these guys can do it, maybe I can do it in my market, or maybe I'll just go in their market and do it, which is what happens a lot. I'm like, here's my market, well, let's just use my people.
Out of the amazing students that you have, is there maybe one or two that their story really hit your heart in relations to where they've come from and where they are today, if you'd like to share?
Yeah, I'll give you one guy's name is Bryson. He's in Georgia. He was 24 years old when we started working with him about a year ago. He didn't have money, so we funded his first 2 deals. He's on, I think, his 11th one now. This guy's going to be a multi-millionaire when he's 40 years old like me. I mean, probably multi-millionaire. I couldn't imagine being 24-year-old. I'm sorry, now he's 25. Being 25 years old, making the amount of money he made. I had to move in with my in-laws when I was 25 because I was in real estate in 2009 and I was getting my butt kicked. So I joined the military because I thought the Army would be easier.
And so what made him different to the other students? What was the difference in him and how he went through that process?
You tell him what to do and he did it. And he'd call you back the next day and be like, what's next? You tell him to post every day to find private lenders, post on Facebook, post on Instagram, post on TikTok, your actual projects you're doing to get private lenders. This guy posts probably twice a day. I think one of his videos got like I don't even know. It was like almost 1 million views. And I was like, goodness gracious. Like he's having results better than I thought he would get. So sometimes we call the guys the race horses.
Yeah, just let them run.
Yeah, just you've got to get out of their way. You give them the thing and you get the heck out of their way. And then there's the people that I feel like I got to drag, and you drag them and eventually they wake up from the dead and they realize, oh my God, I can do this. So don't give up on those people.
What would you say to those people though that may be thinking about getting into land investing but are on the fence and like, oh, I'm not sure, is it for me, is it not for me? Yeah. What would you recommend to them?
Yeah, just stay on the fence, keep watching the rest of us make money, and the opportunity will pass you by, because I think we have a couple years of making money, placing brand new homes on land till the big guys figure it out and they start doing it themselves. You know, that's kind of a sarcastic way, but you know, here's the passionate side of me is like, what are you waiting for? Like, you know, I always tell people, imagine a year from now, and if your life is exactly the same, and that's okay with you, then keep doing what you're doing. Like, because here's the thing, like I was in church service this Sunday, the thief of happiness is comparison. You know, more money is not going to make someone happy. It's more options. Like, can you send your kids to private school? Can you get them therapy? Can you pay for your parents' home or whatever it might be in your situation? Can you go on a 7-day cruise? Or we're leaving for a 7-day cruise in a week. And I'm not trying to like brag. Like we work hard for our money, but like that wasn't always an option for me when I was in the military.
So true. Talk to me about Landsharks. Talk to me about the program and how people can get involved.
Yeah, I mean, someone is welcome to reach out by going to thelandsharks.com and scheduling a call. You'll actually get scheduled with me, and if I'm on vacation, it'll be Jed, and Jed he's raised millions and millions of dollars for syndications, and we've been working together for a while. But the Landsharks program is, we're looking for people that want to learn land investing and actually make a career out of it. I'm not really looking for someone that just wants to do one land deal a year. I think you can, figure out how to do that on the internet or YouTube or something. I'm looking for someone that wants to change their life with land, and then maybe you're interested in developing, then we can talk about that too.
Fantastic. Brent, really appreciate you being on the show today, and we'll put all the show notes in, or where to go, and all the resources from Landshark. So really appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, James, thank you so much for having me. Love the accent too, man. Or I probably have the accent to you, actually.
You got the accent. I love it. Cheers.
Cheers.